defense holding Giannis to 18 points on 8 for 27 from the field. Nick, did the Sixers send a message here?
I'm sure they did to some. It's not a big enough message for me to believe it. I think Milwaukee is clearly the better team, even though Philly dominated that game. My one critique of yesterday's game, listen, Giannis didn't play very well. He's allowed to have one bad game every few weeks. I know he hit all those threes against the Lakers. Giannis can't be taking 7 threes in a game. Like, once Giannis starts 0 for 4, you're done for the night, Giannis. Like, as far as taking threes. This is still the hole in his game. Philly was happy every time he pulled up from 3, and so that's something you should adjust. And listen, Embiid did a great job when he was guarding him throughout the night, and I give him credit for that. I just don't think it's duplicable for the Sixers.
Part of why he took so many threes, though, and he averages, I believe, 5 or close to 6 threes a game.
He's taken a bunch this year, but he's usually not going 0 for.
Right. But Embiid did a great, first of all, Philly kind of, and they're a great defensive team, you have to give them that. They kind of walled off the paint. He obviously got in on occasion, but they made it tough for him at the rim, especially Embiid. Embiid did a tremendous job. He wants to be Defensive Player of the Year. He was my preseason pick for Defensive Player of the Year. And he showed me something yesterday in that he can guard Giannis to some degree on the perimeter and obviously make it tough on him at the rim. So I think it is duplicable, and Philadelphia is going to be a tough out for Milwaukee in the playoffs.
All right, moving on. Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers made it 2-0 against LeBron and the Lakers this season. The Claw finished with 35 points, 12 boards, while LeBron had 23, 10, and 9, playing through an aggravated groin that he suffered in the first quarter. So if you believe everything you read on Twitter, you might think Kawhi is now the best player in L.A. Nick might disagree with you, but therein lies the conversation. Broussar, has Kawhi proven he is the best player in Los Angeles?
No, because a week ago, it was clearly LeBron James. And Kawhi is great, but LeBron was playing like the best player in the world. Not the MVP. Giannis is the clear front runner for that, I believe, because he doesn't have the help and Anthony Davis that LeBron has. But LeBron was playing tremendous basketball. So I think he's still the best player in LA when healthy. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt yesterday. I was watching that game, and I'm like, why aren't you being more aggressive? My father was watching it with me, and nobody's a bigger LeBron fan than him. And he's yelling at the TV. You might be slightly, but he's yelling at the TV, take it to the basket. Don't settle for the 3. What are you doing? So I thought LeBron was unusually tentative. I know he took 24 shots. I don't care. He wasn't himself, and that's what he needs to be the best player in L.A. and to lead the Lakers to the championship. And I know you're going to say LeBron, obviously, because I think Kawhi's praises need to be sung because it is much closer than you think, Nick. Like, I think there are 3 guys on the top tier right now in the NBA. Giannis, LeBron, and Kawhi. Kawhi. Oh. Kawhi is the truth. Now, Harden and Luka are just a smidge, not a dash, not a hint, a smidge below those 2, all right? But Kawhi Leonard, I don't know why you're so down on me. The boy is bad. And if LeBron slips up a little, Giannis then Kawhi will pass him.
Okay. So
I want to listen to you, and then I'm going to talk a little more about Kawhi.
No. So LeBron was clearly not the best player yesterday. And when they first matched up against each other, first game of the year, he was clearly not the better player that night. Everyone can acknowledge that. Who's the better player? Of course it's LeBron, and it's for what you said. I know we have no long-term memory in this country anymore. But can we remember a week ago? Let's not talk about the accomplishments. The 4 MVPs to 0.
Right, it's not lifetime.
It's not about that. It's about who would you rather have right now. 96 hours ago, this would have been unanimous, even by the most ardent LeBron James critics. Who's been better this year? The guy who, up until 96 hours ago, had played every game this year, whose team was the #1 seed in the West, which they still are, by the way, and who, if he wasn't the MVP, was certainly top 3. It wasn't even a question. Now, Kawhi yesterday was better. Kawhi was sensational shooting the basketball. He played, by his standards, incredibly heavy minutes. Kawhi almost played 38 minutes, which hopefully we see him before the new year, but I don't know if we will after that. And so credit to Kawhi. And he did spend some time doing what he used to do, guarding the opposing team's best player.
AD and LeBron.
Absolutely right. Kawhi was great yesterday. But you say I'm down on him. And the reason that I don't put him on the level of LeBron or Giannis or Harden is because I cannot get past the fact of how much easier his job is because he only has to do it 3 out of 4 games. How good would these other guys look if they got the not only minutes restriction, but also the games restriction that Kawhi has? Like, you could, people, when I first got hired by Fox, really my only job was to go on Colin Cowherd's show twice a week for 15 minutes. And those segments always did relatively well. And I used to joke with the bosses. I was like, you guys are only asking me to be good for 30 minutes a week. I was like, I got to be able to do that. It's not that extreme. But what these other guys are being asked to do compared to what Kawhi is doing is different. So that's why it's not
I will give you that.
And so if you tell me I'm going to get LeBron's A game and Kawhi's A game, it is close. I concede that point. But I am so much more regularly getting LeBron's A game compared to Kawhi's DNP game that he removes himself from the discussion, even though in the 2 head-to-head matchups this year, he's been better. And I interrupted you. You wanted to say something else?
No, I agree with you. Like, I've kind of taken Kawhi. After last year's playoffs, I thought Kawhi Leonard had earned the right with LeBron James about to be 35, coming off injury, 17th year, you're thinking he's going to fall off. The way Kawhi outplayed Giannis in the playoffs, I thought Kawhi had earned the right to be called the best player in the world. And we'd see if he holds up his end of the bargain this year. I'm with you on the load management. It's just, it bothers me, and I think that you kind of disqualify yourself from that, title as best player in the world. He could pick it up in the playoffs, though. But let me ask you this. When he plays, like, is that my only knock against Kawhi really is the load management. Because when he plays, he is definitely with Giannis and LeBron. You wouldn't give him that?
So when he plays, I think that games like yesterday, he looks like as good as anybody in the league. No question about it. Because of his lack of playmaking. And people can say, oh, it's gotten better. And it's gotten better. But that's because it's gone from a D to a B minus. Like,
fair.
Right?
Fair.
He is no longer
maybe a B, but fair.
He's right. He's no longer a below average playmaker. I will give him credit. And he had the one really nice shot fake pocket pass last night to generate a layup. And so his playmaking, to me, the lack of it, compared to not only LeBron and Harden, but also Giannis, who is a better playmaker than Kawhi, generates more open threes than Kawhi, and has more on his shoulders than Kawhi. That plus the fact everyone loves his mid-range game. The problem with the mid-range game is, because it's the least efficient shot in the game, it's why he's shooting 45% on the season. It's why that his offensive efficiency numbers aren't quite what they otherwise could be, because you said a few days ago, LeBron doesn't have a go-to move. Right. But he does. It's getting to the basket. Getting to the basket.
But he's not a great free throw shooter. So that, like, even yesterday, he made 1 or 2 late in the game.
Late in the game, made 1 or 2, 3 or 4 for the game. Kawhi's go-to move is to generate the least efficient shot in the game. And so even if you're the best in the game at that, to me, I'd rather have Harden's offensive game. I'd rather have Giannis's all-around game. And obviously, when they're averaging the same amount of points, one guy plays LeBron versus Kawhi, and the other guy leads the league in assists, and Kawhi is stuck on 1 career double-digit assist game. To me, it's pretty clear.
Kawhi is much better. I mean, LeBron has the statistical edge. There's no question about that. I put Kawhi over Harden because defensively, he's one of the best guys in the league. Defensively, Harden obviously isn't. But Kawhi, you talked about he's a mid-range assassin. He's not taking when they need a bucket, Kawhi knows, get to my spot. And that spot isn't 22 feet. It isn't 19 feet. It isn't 17. It's like 10, 12 feet from the basket. And he hits it at a high rate. That dude, I'm telling you, man, he hasn't lost a playoff series since 2017. I know that's partially because of injury, but he is a winner. He gets it done on both ends of the floor. He doesn't, waste dribbles or anything like that.
And everything they've done this year is saying the regular season doesn't matter, and they played great yesterday, and it's all about the postseason. And if they win the title, because they put all their eggs in that basket, then I just got to eat it. Listen, if the Patriots win the title this year, I got to eat it. If the Clippers win the title this year, I got to eat it.
You know what's going to happen? You'll turn into Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, there you go.
You're going to be eating a lot.
All right, so we'll see. The smartest bet in sports over the last 15 years has been bet on 23. for the Lakers or the Heat or the Cavs, or I guess 6 for
to
the Cavs.
win it, to get there,
to be the best player in the league in the final game of the year. It's been the best bet in sports. I'll bet it again.
Got to take a break.
I'll pick the Lakers too, but
coming up, more Cowboys figure
wondering about
pointing.
that
This time from a Pro Bowler next on First.